This is Money Motivation and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of the show, our engineer, Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out roughly every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Today is a great day to be alive, Jason. And next Monday, which will be the day this show comes out, April the 8th, that will be a great day as well, which we're going to be getting into here momentarily. But before we do that, let's talk about our viewing and listening audience. We are now up to 12,820 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We've had 1,350 views in just the last 48 hours. Over the last 28 days, we've had 34,075 views. Our numbers continue to grow, and applause to you, the viewing and listening audience, continues to be right where it needs to be. And of course, we are grateful, thankful, and honored that you continue to view and listen to us on a regular daily basis. Because remember, a whole lot of you, I mean, we have viewers and listeners 24 hours, 7 days a week, not just Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We have a lot of people who want to tune into that new episode at 9 o'clock on Monday morning. And we appreciate the fact that you can't wait to hear our next episode of Money, Motivation, and Mike. Today, episode 2024, Total Solar Eclipse. Okay, this is a big deal. It's something that, from what I understand, the people who are basically alive today, and this would not count someone, I believe, 1934 and back, which, as we know, that's you're coming in on 90 years. But for 99.99% of the people in the United States of America, and for that matter, all over the world, you have never seen what you're going to get to see on Monday, and we'll get into the time and the locations etc. And probably won't ever get to see it again the rest of your life. A total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada, and then will be seen from many other places around the world that we'll talk about here momentarily as well. So, on April the 8th, 2024, a total solar eclipse will cross the pass that we just talked about. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk, which I think is going to be very, very interesting and neat. The moon is just a tad bigger than the sun. And I don't know by exactly how much, but I did see somewhere in my research, and I just didn't write it down, that the moon is just a little bit bigger than the sun, so it gives it total blockage. Safety is the number one priority and for viewing a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse, and that is what a lot of networks, news outlets have been preaching, and we're going to preach it too. Let's not go out there and hurt our eyes and get ourselves in a situation. The sun is bright, but when watching the particular partial phases of the solar eclipse directly with your eyes, which happens before and after totality, you must look through safe solar viewing glasses. In other words, they're called eclipse glasses, or a safe handheld solar viewer at all times. So as the moon starts to block the sun, it's still dangerous to look into it. And we all know how we just kind of glance and catch the sun. Like we try to catch a baseball and the sun's up here and the ball's coming basically straight at you and you can't see it. So you're ducking and trying to get out of the way. And that's exactly what's going to happen to you before and after the total solar eclipse happens. So there'll be partials along those ways, and you got to be ready for that. You know, you can also use indirect viewing methods such as a pinhole projector. Didn't think about that, but that's in there as well. So why is the 2024 eclipse so special? That means that the 2024 eclipse will feature a longer duration of totality on the center line. For many people, totality is all about duration, duration, duration. Now, it's absolutely true that the 2017 eclipse maximum offering of 2 minutes and 40 seconds was pretty impressive, but we're going into the 4 minutes on this particular one. So, as we've talked about here, the Great North American Eclipse is what some media outlets are now calling what's going to happen this coming Monday, April the 8th, 2024, on the Earth. So the path of totality of the lunar eclipse in 2024, the path of the eclipse continues from Mexico, entering the United States and Texas, and traveling through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Basically going out there on the point and heading into the ocean, where part of Europe will get to see it as well. At approximately 1:52 and 13 seconds. 1:52 and 13 seconds, the eclipse will begin on Monday. When the moon starts to block out the southwest side of the sun, the moon will continue to block out more of the sun until totality, when the sun is fully blocked by the moon. Now, wouldn't that tell you right there that the moon's got to be just a tad bigger than the sun for that to happen? But it's going to be an interesting day, and I hope and pray that each and every one of you get to experience just a little bit of this. But the 2024 eclipse is very, very rare. This is our third major eclipse within 8 years. Total in 2017. So it was a total in 2017, annular in 2023, and then we got the total here in 2024. So you were asking me off the air, didn't we just have one? Yes, we did in 2023, not to the degree that we're in right now. It's rare to have that many eclipses in a general area in such a short time. Also, because of the path it leaves an area south of St. Louis experiencing back-to-back total eclipses. Okay. A solar eclipse can only happen during a new moon. Moon's orbit is tilted 5 degrees to Earth's orbit around the sun. Therefore, a solar eclipse is a rarity, rare phenomenon, and a total and annular eclipse even more rare. We won't get into it today, but the hybrid eclipse is the rarest of them all. Okay, now according to Fred Whipple's book, Earth, Moon, and Planets, solar eclipses are fairly numerous, about 2 to 5 per year. Because, they do cross, but not a total. But the area on the ground covered by totality is only a few miles wide. In any given location on Earth, a total eclipse happens only once every 360 years. So, now, that's each particular square foot, whatever the diagram or the diameter that you want to use. The total eclipse for the entire Earth, only once every 360 years. So very, very interesting stuff. Now, we're going to have another annular on October the 2nd, a partial March the 29th of 2025, another partial September the 21st of 2025, and then another annular February the 17th of 2026. Now, what is the longest total eclipse that we have ever had? 7 minutes and 27.54 seconds on June the 15th, 743 BC, before Christ. Jason, that was 2,750 years ago plus, since we had a 7-minute total eclipse. Interesting. Total eclipse of the heart. Bonnie Tyler. For many years, I thought that was Kim Carnes. Just want to point it out to you. Their voices sound the same, but so we're fixing to have a total eclipse of something. It's true that the moon does go around the earth every month, but it doesn't always get to Earth's shadow. The moon's path around Earth is tilted compared to Earth's orbit around the sun. The moon can be behind Earth, but still get hit by light from the sun. Now, this is something that, sometimes you see a partial eclipse and you don't even kind of think about that you're seeing an eclipse because it's just a very smidgen of the two getting in front of each other, or the moon getting in front of the sun by just a tad. But the one that always seems to gather your attention is the blood moon. The moon turns red during an eclipse because of how the sun's light interacts with Earth's atmosphere. As it hits the atmosphere, shorter wavelengths of light, such as color blue, are scattered, outwards. Longer wavelengths like red, however, are bent and refractured into the earth. I like the blood moon. I always think that that's interesting. So, visibility. The totality of the solar eclipse will be visible in a narrow strip on the Pacific Ocean, passing 230 miles north of Marquis Island and later in North America, beginning on the Pacific coast, then ascending to a northeasterly direction through Mexico, the United States, before ending in the northern Atlantic Ocean. All right, now this is pretty interesting. Totality will pass through the town of Wapakitala. I butchered that big time. Ohio. Now, what's interesting about this? It's the home of Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. And here we are having a moon day on Monday. This will be the last solar eclipse visible in the continental United States until August 23rd, 2044. So continuing all the way across the United States is what that means. Continuous. There could be an eclipse, but not from border to border. I guess it would be coast to coast in this particular case. A solar eclipse will be visible in all other parts of the continuous United States. As for Alaska, it will be visible only in the southeastern Atlantic or the Alaskan Panhandle. The eclipse will be partially seen in Norway, Iceland, Ireland, western parts of Great Britain, northwest parts of Spain and Portugal. The eclipse will be partially seen in all of Central American countries, from Belize to Panama, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and in South America, it will be for Colombia. Now, I mentioned Hawaii. The eclipse will be partially seen in Hawaii, the eastern part. The Cook's Island, I'm not sure exactly where that is, but that's what it says. Now, cloud coverage could come into play. Now, here we are in North Texas, and of course it's coming across and then it's headed east towards the northern Atlantic Ocean. The western side of the track through Texas has sunnier skies than those on the eastern side. So your opportunity to be able to see the eclipse with some cloud coverage is much greater on the western side than it is on the eastern side. Did you know Delta Airlines has scheduled a special eclipse following flight from Austin, Texas to Detroit, Michigan on a large window A220 airplane? Various other flights in the path of totality will also come across as well, and try to get above the cloud coverage in its entirety. But Delta Airlines is the one that's jumped out there first. I'm just curious if they come up with a special price for that airplane. And I don't really know, but hey, more power to you. And by the way, that airline, that particular flight is completely sold out, and there's probably a gazillion people on standby trying to get on that particular flight from Austin to Detroit. So, recapping here and what you need to know today, because as our episode comes out at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning in this particular day, April the 8th, 2024, around 9 o'clock that morning, within the next 5 hours, you will be in totality of the solar eclipse. Central Standard Time, 1 o'clock, 52 minutes and 13 seconds. That's when the moon will start to block out the southwest side of the sun. Very, very interesting stuff. It is something that I hope that everyone gets to experience. There has been a lot of talk about whether the school systems are going to let the children or the students, children, it could also be the high schoolers, are they going to let these kids go outside? Now, the big deal is if they don't have all of the eclipse glasses to give to everyone, the school districts are concerned that they will take on the liability of, God forbid, a kid get blind or damage their eyes. So it is, it's basically what they're telling. And when I say school districts, it's a bunch of school districts. It's not just a particular one in Dallas County or Oklahoma City or wherever. There are lots and lots of conversations, topics at these school board meetings about whether or not they're going to let these kids view this total solar eclipse. So be interesting to see. And basically, a lot of these school districts said if you want your kid to see the total solar eclipse, they may need to stay home that day. So this total solar eclipse is just as big as opening day in baseball, Jason.
Indeed.
When any grade school kid should be staying home on opening day of baseball. That's all I got to say about that. And yes, for the record, my children have missed school on opening day of baseball more than once. That's all I'm going to say about it. And hey, that's the way it is. And speaking of sports, baseball, etc., next weekend is the Masters. The tradition lives on, Augusta, Georgia. And our next episode, now that we'll be coming on the air the day after the Masters has been completed. But there is a lot of history in Augusta, Georgia at the Masters Golf Club. Some of that history is not so good. For many, many years, there were no female members allowed. For many, many years, you had to be black to be a caddy at Augusta. So if you are on the PGA Tour, you're playing every week, or you're playing 25 tournaments a year, every other week, and you've got your caddy. For example, Jason, you're going to be my caddy when I make the PGA Tour. We go to Augusta in the olden days, and the olden days are not that long ago. I'm talking about within the last 15, 20 years. We go to Augusta, you can't caddy for me because, number one, you're not black. And there's a story right now. There was a caddy that he had to caddy for a little over 50 years. Started caddying at Augusta when he was 8. Turned into a multimillionaire carrying bags. Money Motives Mike always continues to try to bring you good quality content. Obviously, the total solar eclipse being a very, very unique episode. You can contact us, info@mx3.vip. And hey, if you've got some information on these school districts, on what your particular school district's going to do, please let us know. You can find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Like I say, next week, Augusta, Georgia, the Masters. So everyone who's been a part of this show, for money, motivation, and might, continue to live your life the right way.